Bernice is where there. Bernice, come in. Cheryl, come in. Julian and Compton, come in here and sit down. I call y'all in here to tell me. Y'all know what is a fire stick? What is a fire stick? Because it seems to me that this item has escaped me. Hello and welcome. This is What the Stories Say. Come in, sit down. If this is your first time, please enjoy, like, share, subscribe, and follow wherever you find me. Dale and Marva, come in and sit down. Iona, away there, come in. Loud talk story. You see me get a fancy coconut. Me buy it at Costco. Hey, when country girl want your thing, you got to go and get it. And this night yourself, go take this knife and bust down this coconut. This, I tell y'all, is one hard coconut. And it say, pop and sip. Pop and sip. You can't pop this egg for chop them good. But anyway, what the story say? Yeah, come in, let me talk story. Good. I call y'all in here to tell me. Y'all know what is a fire stick? What is a fire stick? Because it seems to me that this piece of item has escaped me. My childhood, I never see a fire stick. But apparently, in the old people's lexicon, the Guyanese elders lexicon, there's a word fire stick. I imagine that a fire stick is a piece of stick that they poke in the fireside that was lit. Y'all think that is it? That must be it, unless they get something else. Here what I know. Fire stick does get like embers at the end. That is my idea of a fire stick. But here how this thing come to me. I've been pondering it for a couple days now. And that's because I'm working on a project. And why do I go back and work on these projects? Because that's my line of work. That's my research interest, right? For those of you who don't know, I'm a cultural rhetorician. I write and research to preserve and protect and disseminate our culture for cultural continuity so that we can examine it and we can learn from it, among other things, right? So let me talk this story. All people say, when you see thing a day, not take fire stick for look for arm a night. Let me take it slowly. What thing you see a day, not take fire stick for look for arm a night. Some people say, when you see thing in the daytime, don't take fire stick to look for it in the nighttime. That is what it means in what we call the acrolect. More like English. But Basilect say, when you see thing a day, take fire stick for look for 'em at night. Alright, that's what the linguistics people say. So what these old people mean? My grandmother was a queen for saying that. She used to say, in the darkest night, I can go find something. Me and my sisters will laugh all the time. Because when you see, we put on something, they say, in the darkest night. And then we bust laugh because my grandmother could put her hand on anything she has in the night. So let's back up. When I think of this proverb or this saying, it brings me back to the context in which the African and the Guyanese elders speak. It was a time when they didn't have gas stove and electric stove and IH and all these different things. You know, they didn't have them. So they had fireside and cow mouth and coal pot and things like that. Outdoor cooking. Things that people glorify these days. They had to go get wood, the old paling stave. They go and get firewood. They used to go up the seawall. My memory serves me correct. They used to go to get the kurda trees. In my time, there were barely any kurda trees when I was little. And I'm sure there are none of them now. And they used to have mangroves out by the seawall, the Buxton seawall, and on the east coast. They used to go to get the wood from the Kurda trees, and they used to burn that, and wherever they could get wood. So the context is they get a fire stick, and they're saying don't take for granted certain things. Don't see things in the day and go out in the nighttime to take a fire stick to look for it. I would imagine that was a great feat to do, or something rather silly to do, because first of all, they didn't have electric light. I grew up, I know about flambeau, bath lamp, kerosene lamp, gas lamp, and them things before electric light. And before electric light, there was nothing really except those things, and people cooked early. They didn't cook at night, unless it was bush cook or something. But cooking didn't happen in the night. Things finished when it was daytime. So it was foolhardy to go cooking or looking for anything at nighttime. That makes sense, right? You know, when they first get electric light, maybe they say, "Move light a glass bottle." It just shows you the turn of the times. So we are going back now, to me, sometime in fireside age, and a time when I don't know a thing called a fire stick, because I know coal pot. So I'm going to extrapolate. All right, so that is where we are. The old people were wise. If you saw a penny on the ground, broad daylight, and you didn't pick it up, you didn't take the opportunity to pick it up, but suddenly midnight, dark night, you get up and say you want to find this penny, and you go to the fireside. First of all, I don't know what fireside working at night, because it has down the embers and wet the fireside. But for some strange reason, you go and get fire stick. That's why I'm thinking that this thing is not from fireside, you know, it might be something else. But you're taking this fire stick for go and search on the ground for this penny. They're making no sense. So they're telling you have to be expedient. You have to do things when you can get access to them readily, not putting off things, right? Imagine you see something in the day. Let's say a foul pen. This foul pen get a hole. And then you want to find out if rat ants are going in there. You look in the daytime, you see rat down. But nighttime you're going with flashlight for look for it. Why? You're not supposed to patch it when you see it. You're supposed to patch it when you see it. But those are the practical things. They don't really mean that. They have a deeper meaning. You know, to me, it feels like they're telling you to be honest with yourself. What you see is what you see. If you walk like a duck, it quack like a duck, is a duck. If you walk like a dog, it bark like a dog, is a dog. They're calling on us to be honest with ourselves, to confront the things we see and not second guess ourselves. What it is, it is. But why would they want to caution us about that? Because there's a lot of people who fool themselves into stupidness. They say if a body tell you who they are, believe them. But you see, this human mind can convince us that what we're seeing and hearing is not so. There's something else. And people learn the hard way. You know, they're told something. They analyze it, they parse it, they twist it, they turn it to make it into something else. Listen, you can't put on perfume on donkey and expect it to smell like puss. No. No. It gonna smell like donkey. Cat will smell like cat. Donkey smell like donkey. Yes. So you got to come to terms with yourself. This thing applies to I want to say the political situation in America right now. I don't like to get political, but this one is so pertinent. The political leader said what he was going to do, and he did it, and yet people screaming and bawling. Fire stick, a fire stick. Are you not agree with me? A fire stick. Maybe there's another way to look at it. Me don't know. I ain't leaning either way anyway. I'm just observing life. And these elders from way back been telling us. It goes down into, let's say I'm an educator, so I'm going to go to education. You have assignments to do. You have to do them in a timely manner. But you're quite aware of what's required. But you broke stick in your ears. You ignore that, hoping for a different outcome. I teach young people. You give them a deadline. They somehow think you have living lines. That is taking thing in the day for look for it at night with Firestick. Firestick cannot give off enough light for you to be able to see what you need to do. So why do that? It is not expedient. It's just silly. I don't want to milk this for more than it's worth, but I think the elders were calling us to awareness, honesty, and common sense. We got to do what we got to do in a timely manner. When you see thing a day, now take Firestick for look for them a night. And to the young people, the ones who go into school, thing where you see a day, now take Firestick for look for a night. Put your thing in your book bag. Your books, your pens, your everything in your book bag. Prepare your shoes. Prepare your clothes. Now when morning time come, you're bothering down your mother. You can't find this, you can't find that. Look, picnic, go. Make sure you don't get Firestick, huh? The coconut. Don't tell me I'm drinking it with straw. I gotta drink it with straw. When you're there far inside, and you get them foreign coconut, this year drink them, so. This straw is paper. Ay, ay, ay. Thing bad. Even dog and all look work. Yeah, all good.